Welcome everybody to the first initial podcast, or what we might want to call live sort of chat with Tim and I. This weekend we'll be sort of looking at Darwin racings back up in the motherland, back up at Fanny Bay. We have a 6-race card up there. Nice sort of quality horses up there. The fields aren't massive, but with that it's become sort of an easier punting option for what we do and the way we map our races. So we're just going to go over the 6 races, look through each sort of race in depth, give some selections, and we'll sort of move on from there. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So first race we have is race 1. It's 1,300 meters, 1,500 handicap, 58 handicap. In this field there is 7 runners. So before we deep dive into this race, guys, Gavin, he actually is a part owner of this horse. So before I dive in and give you the analysis of this race, we'll just switch it over to Gavin and give you his thoughts on his horse.
Yeah, well, as I put through the video earlier in the week, I am part of the ownership group of I'm a Puppet. Now, yeah, we've had her for a few years now. She's been back this year after a bit of a long break. So we have a look at her racing patterns, and she typically peaks around this sort of 3rd or 4th up run. Now tomorrow's her 4th run in. She ran a really good second last start to a pretty good animal, which is going to start favourite in race 2, a horse called Looking For You. So that form line stacks up because Looking For You's come out again and won since. Beat a horse called Yasugi, which is in the same race again this week, race 2. So that sort of form sort of is sort of stacking up. So and looking at the race map, she kind of she draws really well in 2. The 2 speed horses in the race, which are both Rich Sun and Pointo's Pick, have drawn 4 and 5. So that all the speed's going to be coming from out wide. Both those jockeys are going to be pushing forward because that's the natural racing pattern of both horses. So Pointo's Pick and Rich Sun are going to sort of come across from 4 and 5. Puppet, we're going to be asking Casey Hunter to sort of to get her out of the gates and get her moving early. We sort of map and want to sit around a sort of 1 out 1 back sort of scenario, and that's going to give her every opportunity to run down these 2 leaders. And given the way that she's been finishing her races lately, I would be pretty confident. I am pretty confident that she's going to be running out the top of these 2. So you will see sort of 3 starts ago, Timbo, when Rich Sun actually beat her over 1,200. She was second up that day. 1,200 is not her go. She needs 13 and beyond. She come from absolutely way back in the field and stormed home and run Rich Sun to, I think it was 2 lengths and ran 3rd. So the writing's on the wall. She's ready. She's peaking. And the race sets up beautifully for her. So that's where we're at with her. We are going to be picking her on top today. We're going to be putting her down as one of our better bets. Not because I own her, but actually because she looks the rightful winner, to be honest with you. So we're going to be putting I'm a Puppet on top. Number 2, we're going to be putting in second place is going to be Pointo's Pick, who was fantastic last start. She jumped out. She won a pretty soft maiden, if I'm honest with you. Had every sort of thing go her way. So I'd expect a similar sort of run, except there's going to be plenty of pace on and plenty of sort of pressure up front, because Rich Sun has that same sort of racing pattern. So they're going to be sort of sitting at the front, battling away, and Puppet's going to be taking a nice soft lead and finishing them off. So Rich Sun will be picking for 3rd. So I'll just sort of go over that again. I'm a Puppet on top, followed by Pointo's Pick and Rich Sun to sort of fill the placings.
Beautiful. Well, guys, another thing with the Puppet also, his regular rider is Paul Shears. He's actually riding the top weight, Rich Sun. He obviously can't make the weight as he's riding up the 59, 60k mark, where they've actually whacked on Casey Hunter again, where she's weighing in at 55. So, she's giving him nearly 5 kilos, so which is another massive advantage for the Puppet.
Yeah.
So I think Shears on board up top. He knows how she runs, so he's going to be watching for the Puppet to be running home late and storming home over the top of him.
Yeah, you're right, Timbo, because Shizzy is a sort of a heavyweight rider up there. So he would have got the opportunity. Well, he had the opportunity to ride Puppet. I know that for a fact through the stable, but he just can't make the weight. As simple as that. So his second option was Pointo's Pick. So he'll be riding that. Casey's on ours. Casey's one of our stable riders as well. She'll do a fantastic job. We're pretty confident. So get on. Here we go. We'll start the day off with a puppet victory.
Beautiful.
There she is, just behind us too. That's her. She's won 4 races in total. She'll win in the 5th on Saturday.
Okay, so how about we move on to the second race. Second race is another 1,300 metre race and is a benchmark 76. So we'll start sifting through that form analysis, Gav.
Yeah, well, this race I like a lot, and like I mentioned previously, when I'm a Puppet ran second to that good one I mentioned, Looking for You. Well, Looking for You's in race 2 Saturday. So back to 1,300 from the 1,600 last start, where it jumped out straight to the lead. Wayne Davis just put it on the paint, and she was peeling off some pretty great sectionals to be winning. Back to the 1,300, which Looking for You's won a couple of times that, so that sort of form line stacks up as well. The race maps beautifully. It's coming from sort of a mid sort of barrier draw, cut across, Wayne Davis on the lead, and I just can't see him run them down, Timbo. I think Looking for You just looks far too good. It's in great form, and what we found in Darwin is when horses actually get, they find a bit of form and they just peel off victory after victory after victory. So she's in form. She looks well placed in this race, and I think she's going to be too good because she's just going to get a sort of nice soft lead.
Yep.
However, there is a bit of a query runner there, and it's the Gary Clark horse, Mellors, and it had some really solid sort of Perth form prior to coming over. Sits on another horse which likes to be up near the pace. Doesn't necessarily need the lead, but wants to be up sort of around that sort of 3 and 4 mark. Ran a really nice race in Alice Springs last start behind a horse called Star Ruse, which has subsequently come out and won again. So that form line sort of stacks up beautifully. And there's another horse there called Brother Bassie, which is the stablemate to Looking for You. And I know you have a high opinion of Brother Bassie because you backed it last start. But yeah, we're probably just the way the race sort of sets up for the stablemate. The form lines through Mellors probably looks a bit too strong for Brother Bassie, but look for it late. She'll be sort of storming home, mate.
Yeah. She'll be storming home late, like she did last start, trying to come home over the top of him again. But yeah, like I said, I think Looking for You is just going to be too strong to the line.
Yeah.
So we got the selections done for that.
Yeah. So we're gonna be picking Looking for You on top. Mellors to run second from the Gary Clark stable, and Brother Bassie, which is the stablemate, to Looking for You to run third. So Phil Cole to fill the placings 1 and 3, and Clarkey to sort of wedge him in between there with a second place. So
beautiful, done.